Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a model that was new at Baselworld 2017. This is the Breitling Superocean Heritage 242, a dive watch in stainless steel designed to channel the vintage Breitling reference 1004, the very first Superocean. It's a modern watch with a modern movement, modern size, and modern materials. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it's a fairly easy watch to wear. A large timepiece at 42, nevertheless not oppressively thick at 14.4 millimeters for an automatic with 200 meter depth rating. That is perfectly acceptable. Lug to lug, the watch spans 51.4 millimeters, so you can see across my wrist it's a broad watch but not overpowering. It has a modern stance between the lugs, 22 millimeters, so you can throw it on a 22 millimeter strap, but consider this fascinating Ocean Classic style strap. Now I say Ocean Classic style because it's designed to look like the mesh Ocean Classic bracelet, but it's a wonderfully supple blue natural vulcanized rubber strap, exceptionally comfortable on the wrist. It does feel like a wonderful choice. Ergonomically speaking, it's pliant, it's soft, it features hollows on the underside to create little air pockets so your wrist can breathe on a hot day. It's an interesting looking strap too, so it's anything but generic in design, and I always appreciate clever design. It is designed to evoke the look of the Ocean Classic, but with a bit more souplesse and perhaps a bit more economy than if you were to buy the watch on a full bracelet. This is Breitling's premium clasp, however. It features trigger release, not a clamshell. It's beautifully polished externally. You can see the Breitling wing logo. Trigger release, open it up, the swing arm is substantial and it is itself polished, and then you go inside and there's a push button slider that allows you to make incremental sizing adjustments on the fly. Of course, you will roughly cut this strap to suit your wrist. It is a new Breitling factory strap, so it has not been cut. Will give you the privilege and the pleasure of sizing precisely. It looks like the previous owner didn't really enjoy this watch, and I hate to say it, but when you see stickers on a watch, some guy basically wasted his time and money on something he never truly appreciated. I hope you'll treat it differently. Pull the stickers and take this one for a swim. Being the Superocean Heritage rather than the Superocean, it has a vintage-inspired no-guard profile to the case. The case is all of high polish, and it's a handsome case with strong lugs, and you can see a clever design that Breitling utilized, sinking the bezel below the top, the peaks of the lugs, so that the lugs can be broad, flowing, and they can have a striking length and thrust to them without being cropped off by the bezel, but at the same time the bezel doesn't sit a millimeter higher and make the watch untenably thick. You'll also note that the bezel features small screws in its profile. This is what's known as a captive bezel. It's used by some companies that build really tough watches, Breitling and Zinn being the foremost practitioners. The captive bezel system ensures that you can't accidentally snap the bezel off. You can do that with a Tag, an Omega, or a Rolex. You can't do that with a Breitling. It has to be dismantled with tools to remove. That's to your watchmaker's detriment, but your advantage. Now, for the Superocean Heritage 2, we get a true ceramic insert in the bezel, as well as a loomed pearl. Two big upgrades on the previous Superocean Heritage. Now, the Detent is excellent. I'm going to let you hear it. It's crisp, it's solid, the report is satisfying, and just as a bad dive bezel can break a dive watch, a good one can really make it, and that's what you have here. Line up that loomed pearl with the broadsword style minute hand, and now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. Granted, you'll have to keep in mind your minutes because this is an uncalibrated vintage inspired bezel. You just get the indices, but it's a wonderful way to pass the time and track the time without the downstream maintenance expense of a proper complicated chronograph. I also found the radial scale of a dive bezel against a minute hand is just easier to read than a small chronograph register. The dial is a lovely sunburst blue with applique indices, though inspired by history in its general form, font, and style. Nevertheless, it is an upscale modern dial. It doesn't feel basic like the old reference 1004 of the 50s would have. You can see there's a rose gold applique Breitling B, and then anchoring at 6 o'clock and replacing an index, you have the date window with a no-nonsense black on white print. Broadsword, minute, and broad arrow hour hand, we will have a loom shot. It will be excellent. Turn the watch over, and well, you can't see it, but underneath the case back, what Breitling calls caliber B20. What is it? Well, it's a Tudor MT5612. So it's basically the Tudor movement doing business as a Breitling, and that's a trade-off I can accept. A Tudor movement, sign me up. So you get Rolex Tudor patrimony inside the 200-meter water-resistant case, 70-hour power reserve, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, stop seconds or hacking seconds, a quick set date. You get a full balance bridge and a free-sprung index for shock resistance and a silicone hairspring for anti-magnetism. It is a very sophisticated movement that significantly upgrades the functionality and the horological value of the Breitling Superocean Heritage line. You can see this one and set sail or take the plunge on the watch box. Breitling Superocean Heritage 2.